Oh, so many good things going on today. I hope you guys are having a great day and you're just as pumped to be working today like I am. Had an amazing meeting with a vice president for Square Coil, looking for somebody that can take us to the next level, somebody that's been here before. This is my first SaaS, so I'm kind of treasuring a trail all by myself. This guy's built and exited 4 SaaSes and done very well for himself. And looks like he might be coming on board. So super pumped on that one. Can't wait to see what he brings to the table and what we can offer our customers and, how it's going to just expand and grow and grow and grow. When I first started Square Coil, I'll tell you what, one of the main reasons why I built this is so everyone would know what their true costs are. And so everyone could make a real profit, A. And B, on a selfish note, I'm sure everybody else listening is going to be a little selfish on this one as well. You're going to join me in this. We wanted the guy that was underbidding our industry to know what it really cost him to build a sign so he would stop undercutting the rest of the competition. You're welcome. I was helping with that as well. And it's starting to work. It's kind of funny. More and more people are like, I didn't know it cost this much. I didn't understand. I was underbidding. And we love to hear that because A, they're finally putting real money in their pockets, and B, they're not cutting our knees out just underneath us. So very exciting times on that one. All right. The girls went to Tri-States and Tri-State Sign Association, and they were there and they had 2 meetings, 2 talks or lesson plans, and one was on organization and one was on project management. And I tell you what, we should have been the keynote speaker for both of those because that is what we bleed here over at Square Coil all the time. So was really neat on that one. And we got a lot of good feedback from people that were using us, people that weren't using us, and how that their lesson that they taught on organization project management tied right into with what we're doing. So we are going to talk about that in a little bit, but I have to tell you guys this one. I have another public service announcement, a PSA, if you will. We started to attack our paint booth at the sign shop, and we wanted to reorganize it and clean it up. Why? Well, everything was fine with it. Nothing was broken. But you know what? We had to clean it up. We decided to move a couple things, make it more ergonomic, so to speak, on the workflow areas. And we decided to just go digging through. We found? We found a whole case of catalyst that had been squirreled away somewhere, and we completely forgot about it. We found another 2 quarts of primer gallons, 2-gallon buckets of primer that was all squirreled away in the corner that we didn't see. So as much as you claim to be a lean manufacturer, as much as you claim to know what's going on in your 4 walls, it's always good to do a little spring cleaning. And it's good for the boss to get out there and get his hands dirty. I got there at 5 a.m. I was working until 9:30 before I had meetings. I was covered in dirt because, every sign shop is nice and dirty. And it was good to be with the men working through that. And also at the same time, good to find stuff and be able to say, hey, throw that out. We don't need it anymore. And we had a couple old guns that weren't the low volume or the low pressure, high volume. And they weren't any of those. And so we just say, hey, they're outdated. They got to go. So it's a good cleanup time. So PSA for you guys, it wouldn't hurt to do a little spring cleaning, even though it is in the fall, because, us sign guys, we are pack rats. I mean, let's not lie. We're hoarders. It's just, we see this little 2x2 square and we're like, we can use that for something. And 9 years later, it's still sitting against the wall because we're not. We know it. You know it. I know it. We're not going to use it. All right. Organization. Seems to be a tough one. Is organization tough or is implementation tough? That's always the question I always ask myself all the time. Everybody has their folder. They have their little spiral notebook. They're like, I'm going to take some notes and I'm going to be really organized. And then what happens? Maybe you get busy. Maybe you just get lazy. Or maybe the organization just isn't for you and you like to live in chaos. Small segue here. Want to talk to you guys about Square Coil software and what it does for your companies. If you're the type of guy that's still doing pen and paper and you think you're rocking and rolling, you just might be, but you're not running at the most efficient pace possible for yourself. Imagine doing a report. You want to know how many sales each salesperson did for the entire year. So you sit down and get all your books out and it takes you 2-3 hours to build this Excel spreadsheet and you got your answer. But what if you could just click a button? And then your 2 or 3 hours are back in your hands and you can evoke change inside of your company for those 2-3 hours versus building a report. That's what Square Coil software does for you. That's what we bring to the table in the way of efficiency. So check us out if you're not using us. I'm voting that most of the time when somebody goes, I'm going to get organized. And then next month they're going to say, I'm going to get organized. And next month they're going to say, I'm going to get organized. They choose the third one. They just doesn't want to work for them. How many people that you know of that is in a key position in your company and their desk looked like a 4-year-old just shoved it off the table and they just picked it back up and set it down? If you know that person, send them the link to this podcast because we are talking to them. If your desk is beautiful type A personality, we're not talking to you, but I'm sure you can learn a thing or two talking to those messy desk people. Organization is not a death sentence. I promise you. You're not going to prison when I say you need to get organized. It's not this horrible thing that you have to do that's going to suck up all of your waking hours. Organization is just simply knowing where everything is so you can get to it very easily. Organization is I need a fork for my dinner and I open up the drawer and I know exactly the fork that's in that drawer. That's it. That's all organization is. It just makes your life easier so you don't spend so much time hunting for stuff. You don't spend so much time looking for things. Seems pretty simple, right? Organization seems really simple. All we have to do is put it in its place and it's going to work just well. Yes, for the most part, that's a great first step. I love it. We teach our kids make your bed every morning as soon as you wake up. Why? Because we're teaching them to do a chore that's satisfactual. It shows success right off the bat, but it also makes the room look organized, makes it look clean, less clutter, easier on the eyes, easier on the brain. You don't get anxiety or stressed out as much. There's so many things that go around with this simple little word called organization. But, but, even the best organized person is only an island unless you have your organization thought through by your whole entire company. I will be very honest with you guys. It's not that we see companies that are unorganized that come on board and work with us, but we see people where one or two people are very organized, but the rest of the company does not understand their organizational thought process. And so therefore it turns into chaos once it leaves their desk. When you guys go to organize a company, it's so much more than just you. Yes, you have to lead by example. Yes, you have to be the most organized one. Yeah, I agree to all that. But it can't stop with just you. You need to be able to tell your coworker, the coworker 5 rungs down the way from you, all those things of how you stay organized and why you did it, the method of the madness, why you did it. In the sign world, the phone rings, right? We have a new client. We want to talk to them. And the first thing we want to do is, what do you need? How can we help you? How can we facilitate and give you a product that fits your needs? So we got to do a little questionnaire, right? You got to start talking to them. Usually goes out to a survey. Usually ends up going out there where we're saying, okay, we're going to meet you on site. We'll see what's going on. And then you come back. Right here's where that chaos starts. And it starts breeding if you don't have the good organizational methods in place. Where do the pictures go? Where does the survey notes go? Where does that design or estimate request go? Does the salesperson keep it and wait for the designer or the estimator to come back? Do they put it in one place where we can get to it? Do they not label it but throw it in a folder in some F drive and you just got to go find it now? Well, what is your systems are put in place? Why are you doing what you're doing? Organization is what I found at the end of the day to be not just what you can do, but what your company can do right every single time. Let's say that again. Organization is not what you do to stay organized, but a true company organization is what everybody can fulfill and follow every single time. That's what organization is. And it's something that, yes, you might be a type A personality, you might be a rock star, but if you disappeared today, how many people could pick up your organization? If you say a lot or all, you're a home run. Congratulations. Good for you. But if other people can't, well, we got some work to do. We got a little bit of process that we need to happen with that. And that's okay. That's all right. That's why we're here talking about it. Organization number 1, where did it come from? Organization number 2, what am I doing with it? Organization number 3, who's going to use this down the chain? That's where the steps, the 3. Where's it coming from? What am I doing with it? Who's going to benefit from it? The 1, 2, 3. That's the organizational model that I've subscribed to. I teach everybody. That's how you're going to make it really simple for everybody. If I know that I have pictures coming in from a survey, I'm going to put it where everyone can get to that folder, where they know exactly where it's at and they see where it's coming from. If I know it's a survey that the installers are going to need, I'm going to put it in a folder that everyone can get to, because I'm not naive to think it's only the installers that need it. And then I'm going to make a note to the installers, hey, this is where it's at. Even if it's the same folder I put every single time for every single project, I'm still going to task them and say, hey, this is where I put the information. More communication doesn't hurt anything. Lack of communication hurts everything, So a little bit more didn't hurt anything. When you guys go to organize something for the next person, you got to put yourself in their shoes. What do they need that's going to stand out to make their job or life easier? What information are they looking for? Should I highlight it or put it in bold? Why do they need the information, and what subsequential information do they need? Okay, it's going to be mounted onto a wall. Great. Is there a lawn in front of the wall? Do we need a long crane to get there? What type of wall is it? We have the main information. Yes, a wall sign, but what's all the subsequential information that you need? Pretty sure I just farmed that word. Sequential information. There we go. I'll get there one day. Don't worry about me. So with that, you need to be thinking of the person down the road. People are going to be working with that. There's so many little adjectives or sayings when we were kids. Think of the other person, put yourself in their shoes. And all those little fables that we learned as we were little kids have all come home to roost now that we're adults. Because it's true. It's very, very true. Organization isn't that difficult, but in the end of the day, you are a factor of it, and you can help or hinder it throughout your company. One of the statements that I love and I always think about all my time, when you guys see those, the really high-end watches, and you open them up, and there's like 15 gears, these little tiny gears, these little big gears, and they're all spinning around just to make that one little hand do this. Personally, I think it's a lot of gears for one little thing to go around and around again. But what am I? I'm not a watchmaker. I just think there's way more gears than their hands. It's a different topic. Anywho, each one of those gears is important, though. Each one of those gears makes that watch tick. If you take one of those gears away, what happens? Watch doesn't work. If you have 5 organized people in your crew and one person's unorganized, does your team work? Not nearly as efficiently as it could. Other people have to fill in the gaps for the organization because that one person was unorganized. Even if we like the unorganized person, are they really an asset to the company? I got to ask these questions. These are the questions I ask myself all the time as an owner with the team around me. If I have somebody that's crazy unorganized, they don't know what's going on, I always get hums and hoes, and they have to go find the information and come back. It's probably because they're disorganized up here in their head just as much as their desk is disorganized. And I have to ask the question, are you really an asset to the team? Maybe the answer is yes. Maybe the answer is yes, and we still want them on the team. Maybe the answer is no, I've been lying to myself. But with organization kind of sheds light on how much people are helping the team and how much people are taking away from the team. So that was kind of my take on organization when I heard it. When they talked about project managers and milestones and all the organization for that, I was like, you know what? This can be really broken down to something very, very simple. Where did the information come from? What am I doing with it? And who's going to benefit from it? If you kind of think in those 1, 2, 3 steps, I think your life's going to be a lot easier. Next week, a lot of fun stuff going on right now. I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on in Square Coil, what's going on with the society, what's going on with the new hire, being very open and transparent. I asked you guys to do it inside your company, so I'm going to do it outside of my 4 walls, and we'll see what happens next week. I'll talk to you guys.